The trouble seems to get worse. I'm singing every day, people. The trouble seems to get worse. You know it's time for some action, as long as we do it first.
The Big Intent is a 2-day global multimedia event. Now you might ask, what is that?
Big Intent, which is a film festival held on Waiheke Island. This is the Big Intent. Do you know what this event's all about?
It's about goodness and stuff.
It's about actually getting back to what matters in life. It's about increasing our quality of life, slowing down.
It's because we want to be healthy and good.
It's an eco-film festival, isn't it? Yeah.
And what we heard was,
It's a bringing together of many different strands of knowledge that we have and that we can access these days, from films and from talking with people who are involved in these things. This one is for sustainability.
It's moving from dependence on oil to local resilience. Hello, little one. Have you got a tail? Wow, how cool is that?
We would like Music Grid to become...
What we've done is we've got 8 themed blocks of films, short films, about 24 minutes each, on different topics to do with climate change, peak oil, Indigenous activist rights. And we have live electronic feeds bringing in people from around the world, activists from around the world.
we're going to do a live video conference with Andy from the Yes Man in New York.
Hi, this is Andy.
Good moment. I'm going to put these headphones on and maybe that'll help the connection a little bit.
Really what you guys do is you show that as individuals you can do a hell of a lot.
We hear in the US, at least we hope, that we'll be able to start really applying pressure to change the structure of the laws that give the rights to all of these corporations and to the market to override all of our needs.
We had Juana from Friends of the Earth Latin America talking to us from somewhere in Colombia.
Ciao. Besos. Saluda a alguien, dale.
Hello.
And we've had Rob Hopkins, founder of Transition Towns Movement, speaking to us from Totnes.
In terms of the local currencies, there's the Lewis pound, which has been very successful so far, and they're starting to think about one in Brixton.
Tonight we'll have a dance party after the live feed from the Rainbow Warrior.
We are using a satellite connection to the ship, and it may break up a little bit from time to time, so we need to be a bit patient when we talk, and I'm amazed how well it works, to be honest.
There's Mike.
There's Mike already waiting for us.
What's he saying?
Can you see me?
Yes!
All right.
Can you hear us all right? Can you hear?
I hear you loud and clear.
Could you say that again, please, Mike? Hawaiian dancers, had belly dancing. Had a teepee with a fire, a chill out space. We've had a kids zone.
The children here have been rummaging through old clothes and making new toys. So they've been making some horses and some dolls and some puppets.
So there've been lots of activities for kids, and people have brought their almost newborn babies right through to teenagers, and everybody's been having such a good time. People riding around on the electric bike. We have a bike workshop. Cycle Action Waiheke is here to fix people's bikes. Over there are our beautiful photovoltaic unit from Alphatron,
which convert the sunlight directly into electricity. We've got a little setup here, just tied directly into the grid, and the electricity produced is going back into the electricity network and offsetting the electricity used in the event.
We were informed by Mercury Energy that even if we did have a surplus and pumped it back in, that they would not be giving us any money.
The Big Intent event has been a zero waste event. If you see the rubbish tins, you'll see a large-scale composting bin, kashi, and you'll see a recycling bin. You won't see a rubbish tin. And that, to me, what it was all about. If we were going to showcase an event that was going to be zero waste, then let's do it.
Do you two recycle?
Yes.
You do? Do your parents recycle?
No.
This is a waste-free event.
Well, sabotage is afoot, and you need to be vigilant and onto it with these people.
To come to an event that's been basically based around koha was another thing I think was great, because I think in this day, at this moment, not a lot of people are struggling, and so we wanted to make it available for people to, pay koha, or if they haven't got any money, it didn't matter. You can have herb teas, you can have a coffee, you can come and be entertained for next to nothing or nothing at all. The whole event was about making it available for everyone to attend.
That whole community thing, being here today and seeing what it means to bring people together and how simple it is actually to do.
Basically, there's been a group of 4 or 5 of us have been meeting once a week for about 4 months. As it got closer and closer to the event, we had more frequent meetings, and so the idea started to grow.
It actually was a very interesting procedure. Everyone has their different areas of expertise, and it just flowed really nicely.
We went about the process of trying to get the hall and the reserve, and that, I have to say, it was probably the most difficult part, because it involved dealing with the bureaucracy that is so huge and top heavy, where the right hand and the left hand don't communicate. Some of this information that we've been showing in the way of films, it's information that even informed and people who care haven't accessed or haven't been able to access because of the this conglomerate of media that overstamps the world with the information that it wants to give to everybody. Bland nonsense. Things that are happening in these different communities can inspire and educate people, and I've learnt so much myself just by listening to some of the stories and watching some of these films. So if somebody who, just your regular person, stepped off the street and saw a film like this, they would come away going, my God, it would change their whole outlook, their whole perspective on the world, completely change their paradigm. And I think that this is the reason for doing these kind of events, is to try and get people off the street who live on a diet of mundane media and actually show them what is going on in the world and say, look, this is what's really happening. And when they have that reaction, oh my God, something should be done about it, that's when you say, aha, this is what you can do.
It's offering something that isn't commonly offered. It's offering a wide range of really important information across a broad sector of issues, but they all have the same root, which is how do we actually manage our affairs in a way that is not just sustainable, because we don't really want to sustain what we've got, because what we've got is polluted rivers and depleted oceans. What we want to do is create a regenerative way of life that gives room for everybody to have their needs met, and beyond just needs, actually, to create an abundance for people.
It will get there if each community picks it up and runs their own little event and shows some of these films, educate the people in the community, so that then they can go out into the community and make a difference.
Do you worry about the environment at all?
Yeah, a bit actually.
Have you seen some of the Pacific Islands? They are filled with scum and waste of human
Man, maybe it's a whole kind of like mafia, like some kind of a mafia that's running the whole business.
I think you might be right, Larissa.
If you were to point the finger at someone, who would it be that's causing the most environmental?
Well, I don't have enough fingers, but I'd start with me. I find myself in a high energy system, and so I make high energy choices knowing that they actually have a negative impact. I drive my car.
Well, I drove here in a car, so I probably contributed quite badly on the carbon footprint there. Yeah, I'm just as bad as everyone else, really.
What about you? Did you drive in here in a car too?
No, you drove in my
I got
car.
a lift off Rick, so that's better than Rick.
I think the world economic downturn is going to be quite useful. Probably less environmental disasters going on, probably, because people won't be buying and selling as much.
So you worry about that?
No, I think it's good.
Oh.
Yeah, it's good for the planet.
Yep.
Yep, slow down of world economics.
The financial institutions are getting bailed out. Our money's going up into the hands of the banks. This is not healthy. It's time to make some radical changes.
Yeah, I think the more we take self-responsibility for the state of the world, the better off we are.
I believe in giving service back. I think Gandhi said if you want to find yourself, you lose yourself in the service of others.
We've never lived in such an age of opportunity before. Humanity has never been able to look out and kind of look down on both sides and go, wow, that's where we've come from, and wow, that's where we're going.
Yeah,
and
it's pretty scary when you look on the computer and you can find out what's going on in the whole wide world.
Sure.
And someone else is starving at the same time you're eating a hamburger. And you can find out exactly what happens to make that hamburger, which is pretty evil too. I mean, it is pretty kind of scary.
Yeah, I guess it's what you do with it, but you're right. So I think part of that for me is something else I can do is develop my, emotional literacy, knowing how I'm feeling and then how to use those feelings, not get overwhelmed by them. Because I think you're right, we're about to enter into, I think, a stage of possibly global despair, but certainly cultural despair, where we go, what happened and why are we here?
Communities don't come together to solve problems or celebrate things, and here we have a venue to not be depressed about the situation, but to join together and actually talk, watch what's happening around in the world.
People are waking up to realize that they're not powerless, that there is a shift in the balance of power, because we're realizing that actually we do know what to do, and we can do it, and we can organize very quickly and very effectively.
And some of these films have shown that in many areas around the world, people who have hardly any money are coming together as communities and producing their own currencies, saving their own foods that they grow before some great conglomerate like Monsanto comes in and sweeps it up away from them. It's almost like they're becoming the guardians of their own knowledge. There's this sort of generic wave that is sweeping the world to turn it into one big sort of generic barcode. And I guess what we're hearing is that in places and communities like Waiheke, like in Latin America, communities of people are coming together and saying, no, enough. We all become resilient and we will resist.
I really would like to thank you, all the people from Waiheke. It's always amazing when you do something like that, how many people just come out of the woodwork from everywhere and are willing to give their time and their energy to help create something like that and make people come together and realize that we are a community. We are in this together, we can share. I think that's the main thing. Forget about greed, forget about war. We need to learn to share.
This event could actually become something that starts to move around the country, and I think the time is really right for it.
I think this is just the beginning of something, hopefully, that will continue.
The whole environment of just bringing people together like that is brilliant. I just don't know why we don't do it more.
Do you think there's hope?
Oh, absolutely. If there wasn't hope, I wouldn't be here.
The big intent was put on by a lot of passionate volunteers and people, but the main organisations behind the big intent were Coconut Free Press, the Waste Resource Trust, the Cinema Trust, and Transition Towns.